Good morning, dear students. So today we will start a new chapter from biology. Last class, matter in our surroundings we have completed. That belongs to the chemistry. That belongs to chemistry part of the science. So today we will start with the first chapter of biology, and then we will take physics. So like that, from one part each chapter we will cover. So today we will see chapter 5 from biology. So that is the fundamental units of life. Fundamental unit of life. What is the fundamental unit of life? What is the need for our living organisms to survive? What is the need for how the living organisms were formed? How the living organisms were formed? Okay. So first a scientist Robert Hooke. First, a scientist, Robert Hooke, he observed the bark of the cells. He observed the bark of the tree. So that is called cork. Bark of the tree, called cork. So he observed with a self-designed microscope, self-designed magnifying lens. He observed that it is a honeycomb-like structure. Okay, so Robert Hooke first he observed in 1665 with his self-designed microscope. So he observed the bark of a tree that is called as cork. He observed a honeycomb-like structure that he called as a cell. Because it is like an individual compartment. It is like an individual room or compartment. That's why he called by the term cell. Okay, so then because of the curiosity, he studied from different species. He studied from different plants. For example, section of the onion bulb leaf are all studied by him. So how we have to take the section of an onion bulb? Take a sharp blade and pull out the epidermis of the onion, pink color. So pull out the skin of the onion and take a thin section of the onion by using a sharp blade. Okay, so sharp blade, and then take that section using the paint brush. Take that section and keep it on a glass slide. And use a drop of saffron-stein. Because this onion bulb is a pale pink color or white color, it will not, when we put under the microscope, we cannot observe clearly. That's why by putting the saffron color, it is a pink color stain. So one drop of pink color saffron stain is put on the thin section of the onion bulb present on the glass slide. Then put a cover slip. You can see that it is a glass slide. We have taken the section of the onion bulb and we put a drop of saffron stain, and then so it is almost pink color. Then we will put a cover slip on this, because to avoid the disturbance, of the movement of the section, we put a cover slip. So and then without entering the air bubble. If the air bubble enters, we cannot observe the section easily. That's why put a cover slip to avoid the air bubble. So then put under the microscope. So we can observe the structure like this. So this compartment is called by the name cell. So then they found out that these are the basic fundamental unit of life. These are the basic fundamental unit of life. So from which the whole organism is formed. Okay, from each brick, it is like a brick of the building. So when the bricks are arranged in a proper manner, we can construct a building. In the same way, each cell is arranged properly, function properly, then the whole living organism is formed. That's why cell is the basic structural and functional unit of any living organism. Then, so they came to know that cell is a basic building block of life. Then Leeuwenhoek came. Antony van Leeuwenhoek in 1674. He observed some cells in pond water. We know that unicellular organism amoeba is present in pond water. Most of the unicellular organisms like amoeba, chlamydomonas, paramecium, euglena, they are all present in pond water, observed by Van Hoek in 1674. And so he observed that the cells, unicellular, the single cellular organisms are there. Okay. So then Robert Brown, another scientist, Robert Brown in 1831. See the difference of time. See the difference of time, 16 to 1800. Okay. So here already, so modern microscopes are very good. So microscopes are already invented. So from this he observed the nucleus inside the cell. Inside the cell, which are like the nervous system of our body, which are like the brain of our body, isn't it? So nucleus observed by Robert Brown. And then Purkinje in 1839, so he observed the protoplasm, a fluid, so plasm or fluid structure which is present inside the cell, observed by Purkinje. And then Schleiden and Schwann in 1838 and 1839, they gave the cell theory. That is, cells are the basic structural and functional unit of any living organism. Okay, that definition is given by Schleiden and Schwann. And then Virchow in 1855. In 1855, he told that apart from it is a basic structural and functional unit of any living organism. Cells are from the pre-existing cells. Cells are not at all. It comes like a magic. It does not come like a magic. It comes from the pre-existing cells, which is already present. Cells are that is originated from the pre-existing cells. So that is a definition given by the added to the cell theory. So cells are obtained from the pre-existing cells. And then in 1940, electron microscope were invented. In 1940, electron microscope invented, from which each and minute organelle present inside the cells are visible. So many organelles are present inside the cell apart from the cell membrane, that is plasma membrane and nucleus. Other minute cell organelles are present. That was identified in 1940. So after the invention of electron microscope. Okay. So they observed that unicellular organisms are there in the pond water. After the invention of electron microscope, by studying the structure of each organism, they gave the name amoeba, chlamydomonas, paramecium, bacteria. Okay, these are the protozoal organism, bacteria. Okay, different kinds of microorganism which cannot see with our naked eye, Only after the invention of this microscope, so we came to know that so many unicellular organisms, diversity is more, diversity of the world is more. So then, what are the multicellular organisms? So what are the difference between unicellular and multicellular organism? In unicellular organism, almost all the function like respiration, digestion, circulation, okay, so everything is handled by the single cell only. Whereas in multicellular organism, all those processes are there are different systems are there for different systems are there, different organelles are there, different organs are there, to perform the functions. For example, fungi, plants, animals. Okay, so they are called multicellular organisms. And one more thing we have to remember, so shape and size of the cell. Okay, so if elephant is too big, isn't it? Rat is too small. Do the size of the cell also varies from the animal size? Elephant cell size is more bigger than rat cell size? No. The number of the cells may vary, but the size of the cells are same in all the living organism. Okay, size of the cell does not vary from organism to organism or from animal to animal, whether it may be the big or a small animal. Okay, only the shape of the cell varies. Shape of the cell varies and also number of cell varies. Shape of the cell varies from one animal to another animal and number of cells varies from one animal to another animal. Okay, so cell organelles. So once they know about the cell organelles after 1940, after the invention of electron microscope, so they came to know that different cell organelles like mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi bodies, ribosomes, lysosomes. These are different cell organelles present in the cell, and also plasma membrane.